Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Father.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to EduSkills. OET Made Easy. Our mission is to make you fall in love with OET. If you're watching this on YouTube, kindly consider subscribing the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like our work, and please do share to your contacts so that we reach out to maximum number of OET aspirants, especially those who are financially struggling to crack OET. And today we are dealing with reading part C. Yeah, OET reading part C, skills. Okay. Now we will not be going into the introduction. That's why I said this is not a beginner session. Don't worry. Beginners definitely will have different sessions. And during Q&A, you can definitely interact with me, your doubts and other clarifications. No introductions here. Straight away, we are getting into OET reading part C. And I have selected the text mainly from OET official sample material 2. Thank you, OET, for allowing me to use the material for teaching purposes. Text 1. In this particular text, as usually I tell you, there are so many strategies, tips, and clues that tells you this is the answer, this is the answer, and this is the answer. And I'll be teaching you a way of approaching the paragraph in a different focus today. And the strategies that we are going to look into is contrast, comparison, contrast language, cause and effect language, sequential expression, synonyms, contrast word-based question. Okay, the question will be contrast word-based. So paragraph structure, before we are going to look into the paragraph or the text, I'm going to just give you an idea about the paragraph structure. You know, there is a problem stated, then 3 reasons or factors given. Reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. As you listen or read the paragraph, read the text, you must be able to identify what is the problem. If you have a pen and paper with you, piece of paper, just jot down what is the problem, what is the first reason, what is the second reason, what is the third reason. That's all. Just in short, okay? So that you listen properly. So there is a problem, a condition or a disease or something like that stated. Then they are giving you reasons and you'll understand where the answer is. Okay, so this is the text questions. We'll just focus on questions first. You listen, I'll try to make the system read it. This is also a listening practice for you. So we will go hand in hand. Now listen, okay?
15. What information can be found in the first paragraph? A. Reference to some recent findings relating to heart disease. B. Indication of the greatest risk factor associated with heart disease. C. Mention of a misconception about the chief causes of heart disease. D. Figures showing the country with the highest mortality rate from heart disease.
Okay, could you tell me from the questions what could be the problem?
Heart disease.
Heart
Heart
disease.
Disease.
First option says heart disease. Second option says heart disease. Third option says heart disease. Fourth option says heart disease.
Yes.
So even before going to the question, the text, you know, what is the main problem here? And then you have to apply the first method, foresee. Okay, try to predict. So if they are speaking about heart disease, they will be speaking something about the reasons or causes or the problems, whatever. Okay, just listen to the text now. You have to find out a problem in this text. Already you have identified it. Still you concentrate where it is in. Normally in the first sentence it will be presented. The topic sentence we call it, the first sentence of the paragraph. Then you find out 2, 3 reasons. Reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. Okay. As you listen to this one. And it's also a listening practice, as I told you. We'll go in.
Heart disease is the greatest killer in the developed world today, currently accounting for 30% of all deaths in Australia. A concept which is familiar to us all is that traditional risk factors such as smoking, obesity, and genetic makeup increase the risk of heart disease. However, it is now becoming apparent that another factor is at play, a developmental programming that is predetermined before birth, not only by our genes but also by their interaction with the quality of our prenatal environment.
Okay, cool. Now you can interact. What is the problem?
Heart disease.
Heart disease.
Heart disease. Okay, heart disease is the problem. Yes. Now, what are the reasons or factors or
Traditional
traditional risk, exactly. Traditional reason factors. Yeah, there are so many things, right? Smoking, obesity, genetic makeup. Okay. Okay. These are traditional reasons in the risk of heart disease. Do you have a contrast word?
However.
However. So where will be the answer, before or after contrast word?
After
Contrasting word.
contrast.
Yeah, and now you know where is the answer once you have a contrast word. And now, can you tell me, there is traditional risk factors. What is the next factor? Next risk. A developmental program that is to be determined before birth. Yeah. Now there is something. Can you see before birth and after birth? Smoking, obesity, all these things are after birth, right?
After.
Yeah. The developmental program is before birth. So there is a contrast. There is a contrast. Before, yeah, before and after and before. Now, can you give me some reference? Now, do you have something like, now you have a word here, now becoming, okay, traditional and the word now.
Now.
Okay, now means recent, modern, traditional and modern. Traditional is the one word here. So you see the contrast words, okay, now, traditional and now. Cool. And now, however, and you know, the answer is after that. Now, can you find some synonym of now, traditional and recent or now? Can you find some synonym of now in any options here?
Recent.
Recent, yeah, recent.
Recent.
So according to our strategy, EduSkill strategy, which must be the option?
A.
A must be the correct option. We'll check out. Now you see, first one says a reference to some recent findings related to heart disease. And however, after, they are speaking about a recent finding. Correct?
Yes, Father.
Yeah. And another trick they will play is in the second. Normally they play this trick, the greatest factor. Here it says the greatest killer. What is the difference? It looks same, right?
Risk factor.
No, just
There is
to
written
say.
risk factor, but it is here. It is killer.
Yeah, this is the trick they play with you. It looks like, okay, the greatest killer. It looks same, but the greatest killer is cancer, heart disease. Here they are, option B, they are speaking about a factor of heart disease. A factor of a reason for the killer. Heart disease is the greatest killer, but the second option speaking about a factor, risk factor of heart disease. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the trick they play in so many of your questions. You make it very thorough and write in your own mother tongue, translate it and try what is the trick. One is a factor to the factor. The heart disease is the killer, that is the agent. And this one, greatest risk factor, is one factor, reason for heart disease. That is not the killer. That is a reason for heart disease. So that connectivity you have to understand. Otherwise, you may choose that answer. Mention of a misconception about the chief causes of heart disease. There is no misconception mentioned here, because showing the country with the highest mortality rate. There is no country mentioned, right?
Yes.
Yeah, actually you don't require. Once you have your strategies, you have already reached. It is after the contrast word. Again, you have the synonyms there. You have synonymous language if you want. Becoming apparent, finding. Becoming apparent and finding. Yeah, so you see, it looks like this. Yes, see how beautiful it is. What information can be found in the first paragraph? They are asking about the information. So there are so many informations given, but what special information you have to focus on? So they are speaking about, they are using an adjective or a time expression, recent, reference to some recent findings, traditional findings and recent findings, the contrast expressions. Is that clear?
Yes, Father.
Yes,
Yes. Let us check once again. Problem heart disease. Reason 1, traditional risk factors such as smoking, obesity, and genetic makeup. Reason 2, another factor, new factor, is at play, a developmental program that is predetermined before birth. Before birth and after birth also there is a connotation. So you can understand easily. So synonyms, recent, now. Synonymous, some recent findings, it is now becoming apparent. Synonymous language being used. Contrast, traditional, and now, new. Contrast word, however. So the answer must be after the contrast word. Cause and effect. The greatest risk factor of heart disease. The greatest killer, heart disease. Heart disease is the greatest killer. Answer option says the greatest risk factor of heart disease. That's be understood. So what I'm highlighting is this. You need not even look into this first portion. You can just glance. When you become competent, as soon as you know there is a contrast word, you can find as you skim through, you find the contrast word, and immediately after that, you have the answer. So that's how you kill the time. Okay.